Hey there, Bryant Cook, and once again we are back with a Pauper video. I'm loving the format post bans, and I just can't wait to record more content for you. So, a few weeks ago I recorded a video about marauding Blight Priest, Weather the Storm, Galvanic Relay combo, and how Relay is not too good anymore. I still feel the same way. Relay is not too good. But today I'm showing you the other Relay deck, the Serpentine Curve Fling deck. Also a Storm combo deck, but a little bit different. This deck doesn't really rely on casting Weather or the Blight Priest. Uh, it is an A plus B combo deck though, so we do have Curve, and Curve interacts really well with Relay because Curve doesn't care if it's exiled or in the graveyard, it just has to be in one of the two zones. So Serpentine Curve is a great pairing with Relay. I actually hate Fling. I wish there was a better card to play, but I don't think there is one. So the last time I recorded a deck like this was about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago at this point. I didn't bother looking before I started recording. And it was a little bit different. I wasn't running these lands. I was running, brainstorms with like Evolving Wilds and Ash Barrens. And I think that part was a mistake. So I've learned a little bit since then, especially from playing more Chatterstorm. And I really found the strength in cards like Ideas Unbound. Well, in Chatterstorm, it was Sign in Blood or Night's Whisper. But in this list, we're running Ideas Unbound. We're casting it off of the scary Depletion Land or Manamorphose to keep our engine going. I think there's only one slot that I'm not super confident in the main deck, and that's Goblin Electromancer. This could be Pyretic Ritual, so that way you have more instants and sorceries for Relay and Curve. That said, if you get Electromancer to stick, your power level of the deck goes drastically up, and I'm really interested in that aspect. So I'm trying the Electromancer today. It could be Pyretic Ritual. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. It's great to comment anyway. It gets us into the YouTube algorithm, all that good stuff. But let me know what you think about Goblin Electromancer and which one you think it should be. In the board, we have our standard protection spells, Dispel and Spell Pierce. They also interact with the opponent if they're trying to do something too dangerous. Generic Echoing Truth. I don't know if we need this anymore, but it doesn't hurt to have a protective one-of in your deck. Pyroblast, these are just stock. Flaring Pain for decks that might be running Prismatic Strands. And then Weather the Storm for burn. And then these are just additional green sources for the weather. You don't actually need to run these because you have Manamorphose, but I don't know. I feel like you probably want at least 6 green sources, so that's why I'm running them. And if you appreciate this Pauper video today, make sure to subscribe if you're not already. It's free and easy to do and help support the channel. You'll get to see more Pauper content coming in the future. So why wouldn't you subscribe? It just makes perfect sense. And then we have memberships. So if you want to get badges and emotes, donation decks, cyborg guides, check all that stuff out. That is in the button next to the subscribe button. I can't talk today. And that is the join button. And then from there, you can visit theepicstorm.com/shop for donation deck information, as well as theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Sweet Sweet Storm merchandise. That's the intro, short and sweet. I just want to get playing some Pauper. I love this format. I will see you in match number 1. Welcome to match number 1. We are on the play, and we are facing Jacob, a local to me, Pauper All-Star. It's going to be a tough one. Jacob likes to play decks that, are a little bit degenerate. So if we keep this hand, we're looking for a red source for these Electromancers. We don't really have a payoff yet either, so I'm a little bit worried about this, but I think I'm going to be risky and keep it. All right. Ponder, I need you to do some work here. Have to shuffle that. Island isn't the worst draw, but we really wanted a red source. We only have 2 islands in the deck, so that was a little bit of bad beats. All right, island go. Knowing my luck, I'll draw a scary next, and I can't use that. Looks like Jacob is on familiars. Okay, come on, deck. Give me a red source. Draw. Wait, I thought there was only 2 islands. Oh, no. Well, this is embarrassing. There's Sunscape Familiar. Okay, come on, deck. I would love to filter this. Still no red sources. That's brutal. Okay, let's get rid of some of this junk. Yikes. Seagate Oracle. Okay. Draw. Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. We're a quarter of the way through the deck at this point. A red source wasn't too much to ask for. Another Seagate. Okay. Draw. Brutal. It's my own fault for keeping the hand. I don't blame the deck. But we're probably dead here. No Ephemerate? Or there it is. And they're holding up counter spells, so not likely to go all for us. Sure. Okay. Come on, deck. Draw. Am I allowed to preordain? Look at that, a red source. Okay. Familiar is doing the familiar thing. We gave them way too much time, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to win this game. We're almost a third of the way through our deck before we found a red source. Okay, Seagate Oracle crashing in. And now they likely have double counterspell up. Okay. I know they're a fan of Prohibit too, so I wonder how far I'm even going to be able to get here. Alright. Am I allowed to have a Rite of Flame? Okay. Another Rite of Flame? Sure. We're just going to pass then. Okay, taking 5 down to 10. Muldrift or Snap? Sure. We're just dead. Yeah. Took way too long. Another familiar. Archaeomancer for Snap. We could just be dead here. For Flicker. Okay. So they're gaining infinite life, is that what they're showing me here? Yeah, they're just like showing me that they have infinite life. But I don't know if I want to care about that. Because on Magic Online, you have to pick a number. So should I be a nice person and concede to this? Alright, well, they decided that 40 was good enough. So let's cast Manamorphose. Blood, red, red. Okay. Morphos again. Not really what I needed off that. Think that's a shuffle. Yeah, it's got to be a shuffle. Another curve. Curve is nice and all, but like they're just gonna blink it, so we need a fling before we can ever even cast one of those. Okay, so now we relay. And then relay again. And like I mentioned, there's no reason to even cast this curve. So we like it's just a waste of mana and resources. Like I guess I can cast it, so then they have to blink it on their turn, but it's kind of pointless. We only have one fling left, so I think in response to us casting fling, they can just gain infinite life again. Sure. Yep. We're just so dead here. All right, I'm gonna save them some clicks. Like I'm dead. I'm not gonna waste any more time. Let's just go to game number 2. All right, so probably want these 7 cards here. And I guess we have 4 islands, 2 mountain. Thought they were split evenly, but I guess I'm wrong. A lot of cards coming in. Probably get rid of Ideas Unbound, because we don't really want to discard our hand, because we want to be holding up interaction. Maybe that means I can like bring in like 1 ritual. It's worth noting that this is an arcane spell, so you can actually splice it onto Ideas Unbound or Peer Through Depths, which is kind of nice. I'm going to bring in another ritual. Let's try this out. Okay, on the play, game 2 versus familiars. Have to ship that. Come on, Doc. What are you doing to me here? Go to 5. Get rid of this awful fling. And the pier. It's going to be tough to win this one now. Bottom and top. Okay. Ponder. I think I have to shuffle that. Probably familiar here. Ponder. Did not shuffle. Let's cast the pier. Why not? Preordain. And pass. So I can use the Preordain next turn to help find more lands. So that's why I don't mind keeping it. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Just have to pass here. Can't do anything. Love deep analysis. Hurts so sweet. These draws have been brutal. Draw. So if I discard this curve, we only have one more to win with. I think I'm going to discard a right. I'll discard the Desperate. They're just passing, playing the control game. You'd think that we don't have red sources in our deck. Jeez. I guess if you think about it, we only have 6. We have the 4 depletion lands and 2 mountains, but we only have 2 more blue sources. I don't know. It seems a little off to me. They're just passing. Hey, look at that. Another familiar. You got it. Are we allowed to have a Rite of Flame? Just pass. There's no need to get into a counter war over that because like we're at 7, we can just untap with another red source next turn, and then we're not wasting storm count for the relay. Opponent has 9 cards in hand. It's possible that maybe I should have ordered out the Electromancers due to all the creature control that they have. Once again, they're at 9 cards in hand. If there's a game 3, I'm going to consider boarding out those. Screw it. I'm going to fight over this one. Alright, 3 Hydroblasts down. The spell pier is looking a little embarrassing this late in the game. Not a whole lot I could have done with it, though, is the problem. We just never drew a red source early. Like, I had windows early to go off, and I just didn't hit them. Yep. Draw. 4th Hydroblast. Sure. Land go. Emery comes back. Another Seagate. We're pretty much out of this. Like, both games, we just didn't draw our red sources early on enough, and it got really, really punished. Just, like, allow this deck to set up too much. Sure. Instead of watching paint dry, I'm just going to go to the next match. 0-1. All right, match number 2. We're on the draw, and we have 2 cantrips and an island. I'll try this out. Hopefully we find our red source before I die this time. Okay, Forest into Pilgrim. I wonder what this is. All right, I'm going to start on Ponder, just because it digs a little bit deeper for the red source. Shuffle. Don't want any of those. Pass the turn. Maybe we'll get to see what our opponent's playing here. Not a lot of information out of a basic plains. Is this like Pauper Enchantress? I'm not really sure what's going on here. Okay. Come on, Doc. Be good to me. There we go. Is that so much? Play our Mountain and pass. Next turn we can play Electromancer, and then maybe go off on turn 4. If this was the red depletion land, we could attempt to turn 3 because we have Manamorphose on top. I am not sure what the goal of this deck is right now. Okay. Some sort of enchantment deck. Devoted Druid. Okay, I'm guessing it removes the counter somehow. I don't know what's happening. Alright, let's pass after this, see if we can do our thing on turn 4. It's possible that this deck needs more than 14 lands. Who knows? You don't want too many lands in the deck because then your relays end up being really bad. And like even Chatterstorm only played 13. And here we're playing cantrips to help find our land, so I feel like it's just been a little bit of bad luck so far. Okay, they're searching their library for an aura card. So they make their creature larger, and then this can get negative counters. So they can just make a bunch of green mana. Okay. Sure. I mean, you got it. Alright, now we get to untap and try to do our thing. Rite of Flame. Seething Song. Manamorphose. We'll add blue. Ideas Unbound. There's Fling. Unfortunately, we're not quite at the point where that card's good. I think we're supposed to peer for a Manamorphose here. And we hit Morphose. Unfortunately, a few rituals went on the bottom. Add blue. There's Curve. So they're at 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's not lethal. Alright, let's cast Ideas. Oof. I was really hoping for like basics off that and rituals. So that was actually kind of stinky. Okay. Player land. Relay. And then I think we should kill this thing. It's probably in my best interest. I'm not sure what it's doing for them, but I don't like it. We only have one more fling after this. Curve. Okay. Now we have to discard 6 cards. So we have a curve, so we don't need this one. No untapped lands in that pile. Makes me a little bit nervous. I think we're supposed to keep the Electromancer, but I'm not positive. It might be that our next turn is just like play a giant. Is this like a Soul Sisters deck? I don't know what's happening anymore. Okay, getting attacked by Heliod's Pilgrim, sure. So we can start on Rite of Flame, which makes 3 mana. Okay, another blue source was good. A little bit nervous about casting Ponder or Peer. So I want to play the Electromancer into Peer, but if I don't hit one of the 2 remaining Manamorphos, it's really bad because then I can't cast Serpentine Curve. Right, I'm going to Ponder. Shuffle those. Let's Peer. I think I'm just going to end up relaying again. That would leave me with 2 curves left to win with. Manamorphos into Rite of Flame's pretty good. Oh, it's a Peer. So, I just punted. I just punted. That was a dumb move. Dumb move, Bryant. I was like, I'm going to stack this like this. What an idiot. Okay, well, there's Curve Fling. Not the end of the world. Okay. So I guess it is a Soul Sisters type deck. So they're going to gain 4 here up to 24. We just need our Fling to deal more damage. Take a few hits here. Draw. I'm going to start off on Preordain, I think. So if I cast the Preordain, I have to hit an untapped land or ritual. Otherwise, I can't do all of this. So that's actually kind of risky. But I guess playing the Electromancer is like sort of free here. $22 in graveyard. There's also a land and a creature in there. So if I had to guess, this is 20 and 22. So even if I flung them here, that would be exact, I think. Oh, and I just gave them extra life. I am not playing well. I thought it was free. That was clearly not. I'm going to cast this Preordain. I think. I feel like I'm like pressured to now. Well, I'm just like messing up because if I miss off this, I just lose. Lucky. No, these are still in exile. So maybe I do have lethal because those are technically still in exile, right? And I also forgot about their creatures. Oh, crap. The Electromancer play killed me. That's a feel bad. I shouldn't have lost this game. It's just embarrassing. Um, I guess it's like kind of free to board this in. That said, I don't think they have any prevention that would stop it, but it's such a low cost, and we can board out an Electromancer. Okay, on the play for game number 2 after throwing game number 1. And we'll try this. Lands are good. I like lands. Opponent taking a mulligan. Completely forgot about that Electromancer gaining them life. So brutal. Alright, Preordain. I think we want both of these. Forest and pass. I want the Rite of Flame, but not the other two, so I think I'm going to shuffle. Okay, and they cycled the Sigil. And he played this turn, opponent. Devoted Druid. So I could try to relay right now. This would be 8, so if I peered into another relay, I could double relay. I'm going to wait a turn. I'd rather have the extra mana up next turn off the Sandstone Needle. In case I don't hit another relay off pier, but like I hit a curve or something. Commune with the gods. Okay, so it's... I think I figured it out. It's the Presence of Gond plus that enchantment on Devoted Druid means that you get infinite creatures. Alright, Seething Song. Seething Song. Manamorphose. Let some blue mana. Cast. Ooh, I can splice. Ugh. There we go. I did it. I think we want the pier. Alright, let's do this again. I think we want relay. Ponder. Let's leave these two on top because we're about to relay into them and it will make winning very easy next turn. So desperate. So we're gonna have a relay for 9 into a relay for 10. So the top 20-ish cards of our deck will be exiled, 19 to be correct. And then plus this, so it's just gonna be a cakewalk winning on our turn. And then the other relay. Woot woot. All right. Anything with the Devoted Druid here, opponent? No? Okay. And now we get to attempt to do our thing. Let's start on some Rite of Flames. Pretty low cost. Like, we don't have to invest any blue mana, which is our bottleneck at the moment. We have this Manamorphose for blue. There we go. Let's peer. Flaring Pain, okay. That's what I want at the moment. Because it's not going to stop us from winning the game. That's the big thing. Now it's Relay. Just exiles more cards off the top, so that way the curve is larger. There is a card that I'm concerned with here. Weather the Storm, to be particular. Alright, let's cast Fling. Damage cannot be prevented. Looks like they have weather. What? Wow. I was not expecting that. So we are now on the beatdown with our fractal token plan. I was not expecting Dawn Charm. What a blowout. 13 cards left in our deck. One curve, two curve. We still have a curve left by the looks of it. Flag Bearer. And there it is. Let's attack. Okay. Electromancer. We don't want to cast this other Relay because we don't want to deck ourselves. I don't even think there's a reason to cast Ponder here. How large is that one? 33, 33. I'm just a blue-red aggro deck. Alright, another Devoted Druid. Soul Warden. So they must have been holding up something last turn. Now they're in a position where they have to double chump block again. Okay. And then they'll take 4 from the goblins. I love Serpentine Curve. I actually ended up buying Japanese foil copies, and then I forgot that I bought them and accidentally bought a second set. So that's how much I love Serpentine Curve. They will run out of blockers eventually. They have to. They're down to 2 cards in hand now. Rar. I wonder what kills them first, goblins or the fractal tokens, at the rate that they're throwing out blockers. So now they're going down to 10. Just grizzly bear aggro. Okay. That is a chump blocker. 1 card left in hand. So this is also an infinite combo with Presence of the Gods. That said, yep, and they concede. Okay. So we got that one. That's what their deck does. They just try to make infinite creatures. I guess I could board in Spell Pierce. Could technically set in the Echoing Truth too. I don't know if we need this Flaring Pain. What if we just board out the goblins? Let's try this out. Submitted. I was also thinking in between round 1 and this round, I can't help but wonder if like maybe the Goblin Electromancer slots, like we go up to 16 lands with 2 more red sources, just to be more consistent. Sure. So we have double blue depletion land. Draw. And they just have planes go. Wild. Alright, let's cast Preordain. I don't want to use this yet. Am I supposed to keep the relay? I think the answer is yes, but it feels bad. Okay, and they're just passing. Holding up that Dawn Charm. Okay. They're passing again, going to discard. Alright, I'm going to hold the ideas for another turn. We only have 2 untapped red sources in the deck, so I really don't want to just fire off ideas. And there's the Midnight Guard. So next turn they'll be looking to make infinite creatures, and there's our red source. Okay. Ideas. It's free to splice this on. I think I want to leave 3 spells back so I can spell pierce their enchantment. So if that's the case, I want to leave back these 3 I got. Oh, I guess I can replace this one for Storm. Manamorphose. I actually just messed up. I was supposed to tap the Scary, not the Island. Because now I'm a mana short of what I wanted to do. That was dumb. I was too busy narrating and not doing the actual proper thing. Well, I guess I can Echoing Truth this and not worry about it. That solves my issue. Okay. So once again, we're going to have Relay for 19. Boom. And I'm going to have to discard my Spell Pierce. Okay. So I guess their deck is just like green-white Splinter Twin if you think about it. It's like a good way of thinking about how their deck works. Alright, so I guess we want to find like the other Spell Pierce before I do the actual flinging. Alright, Rite of Flame, Rite of Flame. Let's cast an Ideas Unbound. Who doesn't love drawing cards? Thought I had another Ideas in here. I guess I don't. Seething Song. We have one Electromancer in the deck and there's 20 cards. So I was like, maybe I can find the Electromancer. That's why I wanted the Ideas. But I will take these. Those are pretty good. Morphos. Let's make some blue. Let's Ponder again. Shuffle. Ponder. There we go. There's our goblin friend. I've missed you. Okay. I guess we probably want to find Fling. Make a blue. We can see our entire deck with the 3 Piers. I guess we can only see 10 cards because I need to use one of them on Curve. But that Metamorphose makes it so I can see the entire deck. Metamorphose, so strong. And there's the Fling. Only a 33-33. No big deal. And we got a match win. How crazy is that? We are 1-1 despite my terrible play and maybe a little bit of misfortune. With that said, let's just see if we can fix our record up, get the next 3. Not a big deal. I'll see you in match number 3. Match number 3, and we are on the play. Let's get it. Oh my, we've opened up 2 sources of colored mana. Let's keep. What could go wrong? Clearly this hand is perfect, and everything is going to just be fine. Our opponent's taking a mulligan. These are the sort of hands that I was envisioning when I built this deck. Like, this hand isn't the best hand that you could possibly have, but, like, it's a reasonable hand. I don't feel like we've actually had too many of those so far. But I'm also, like, selling myself a little bit on the idea that I probably want to cut Goblin Electromancer for 2 lands and 2 of something else. Sorry about that. I normally mute before I start recording, and then I watched a video in between rounds. Foolish me. Alright, so Mountain Go, what does that mean? Are you just on burn? They are just on burn. You got it. Okay, and there's our goblin friend, but I'm not going to play it yet. wait till next turn, try to do a little bit more. And there's the Alchemist. Alright, let's start off on Rite of Flame. Rite of Flame. Ponder. I think I'm going to shuffle those. Like, that doesn't really help me. Peer. I think it's probably Morphos, and then just pray to hit. At worst, we can play another Goblin. Ding. Okay. So this is going to be a very large serpent. And then next turn we can come back. $15-15, one short of lethal. But I guess we have that fling up there, so that actually changes things quite a bit. It's just a 15-15 opponent. What could go wrong? Alright, am I dead here? The answer could be yes. Searing Blaze, okay. I don't think I'm dead now. Alright, so let's start on the free stuff, I suppose. Let's just attack. May have to block the token. Okay. Ouch. And bolting me? Sure. Increase that storm count for me. Yes. Alright, now will you just hurry up and, there you go. So let's tap this for mana, Rite of Flame. We're going to see if we can actually fling a different fractal token this turn. Let's make some blue mana. Because that one's not quite lethal, and I would like it to be lethal. And we found the Serpentine Curve. Yes. Let's show them the power of snakes. Ponder. Because I can. Yes, let's BM them and double fling them to death. Oh, I should have relayed. What was I thinking? Alright, so we'll hold priority, fling this one, and then fling this one in response. Who's the burn deck now? Who is the burn deck now? Alright, so Goblin Electromancer ended up doing more damage, doing damage that mattered because I forgot to cast the relay first, like a clown. My own fault. Let's bring in these weathers. Okay, so 5 cards coming in. I think we can probably get rid of the goblins. And I don't know. Maybe a desperate or the ideas. Let's do ideas. And the reason I'm choosing to do ideas Unbound is I feel like it taxes Manamorphose, and we're going to want to use Manamorphose for at least 1 green most of the time. This seems reasonable. Okay, cave. So next turn, we can tap Needle for mana, but I'm not sure how good it's going to be. So you make a lot of red, and then one of another color. Alright, we're gonna get risky. Okay. And I do have to spend all the rituals up front, or else the colors don't work. Because I want to cast Peer here, I believe. Looking to draw Manamorphose. Or looking to find Manamorphose, I should have said, and I missed. Yikes. I knew it was risky before I took the line, so not terribly shocked. I think we just take the Seething Song. Okay, a little bit of a bummer. Okay. There's a good chance we will be dead fairly quickly at this point. Molten Rain. Alright, you got me, opponent. Let's go to the next one. Alright, I am not going to change my board plan. My board plan was already perfect. We just didn't happen to win. And now we are on the play for game number 3. This hand seems fine. Alright, let's just ponder into a red source. Panda. Nope. I mean, I'll take it. I would have preferred a Sandstone Needle, but not the end of the world. E2 Lava Runner, okay. Preordain. A. Keeping the red source. Next turn we can relay. Maybe I should have kept the ponder. Yeah, I probably should have kept it. In my mind, I was thinking I was going to be tight on blue mana, but that's just not true. I was looking at the island in play and looked at Pier and forgot about the scary. That was a good one. Alright, let's cast some spells. Soothing Song. Pier. Alright, so we have 7 mana, which is exactly enough right now, so I think I should take the Morphos. Make a few blue. And let's relay. So this fractal token will not be a lethal token. It's just going to be a blocking token. Or if you don't leave back a blocker, I could fling it at you. Lethal. They could have boarded in Pyroblast or anything like that as well to kill my token. You jerk, leave my lands alone. Okay, draw. I think we should start on Preordain looking to hit like a Rite of Flame. Is Desperate Ritual any good? Definitely don't want this. So Ritual would allow me to cycle that. It's fine, I guess. Metamorphose. Blue. Red. I don't think this matters. Okay. So now they have to chump block. Just putting them into the abyss. And then that curve will be permanently exiled. Well, me. That's not very nice. Alright, they still have 4 cards in hand. They know that I have the fling, so they have no reason to attack and leave themselves dead. Another lava runner. So now they can get in with 1. And I go to 11. Rite of Flame or Seething Song wins it off the... Or Seething Song doesn't. I will take a Weather the Storm, though. Hell yeah. Is that a green mana? Makes me feel a little bit better. Probably should have attacked first, but it doesn't matter. 17 should be more than enough life. Huh. The Abyss. Okay. Well, that is a very good blocker because it deals me damage when I kill it, so kudos. Right now we have 5 mana next turn, so I can't play the new curve and fling, but even if I wanted to, this one wouldn't be lethal either. Alright, now we're at 13, but they have 1 card in hand. They will not be able to have a 2-card combination that kills me next turn. Okay. Ponder. Let's attack. You have to block opponent. Okay, so when this dies, I'll take 1 off the Marauders. Okay, Manamorphose. Green, green, and then cast Weather. You will not defeat me, Burn player. Good games. We are now 2-1 with Fractal Beatdown. All right, match 4. We've opened up a reasonable hand. Let's do it. We are on the draw, which makes me feel a little bit better about keeping the Sandstone Needle hand. Is this Mono White Heroic? It is! Alright, so there's some risk associated with playing out our Goblet into this creature, so I don't know if we're going to want to do that. Okay. This creature has the ability to Provoke, which punishes us for playing this out. So if I went Rite of Flame off this, that'll give me 3 blue play. I'm a mana short of doing what I want to do, so I think I'm just going to discard. Let's discard that. Ethereal Armor, okay. Getting in there. Here comes a mutagenic growth, yep. Alright, I think I'm going to hope to get a little lucky here. Oh, I accidentally did red. That was an accident. Bummer. bottom these. That stinks. That stinks a lot. Click too fast. So now we're taking 4 down to 9, assuming they don't have another growth or some other effect. Okay, so Desperate Ritual. I mean, if they have Mana Tithe, I'm just dead. Yep. I was actually researching lists for Mono White Heroic because I'm building it for a Pauper Battle Box sort of thing, and a bunch of lists don't even play Mana Tithe main. So the person that we're facing actually has a list similar to mine. I have Tithe and Mutagenic Growth, but those have not been popular recently. And I think I want this, but I think that's about it. Board out 1 goblin. Keeping the 1 lander really bit me there. If we had drawn land 2 at some point, we probably would have been fine. It just didn't happen. Yeah, I think 14 lands is probably just too few. Like, we probably want 16, and then a few more untapped red sources. Okay, game 2 and we're on the play. Sure. A little bit worried about keeping the scary hand again, but we have a preordain. I also think that there's some value to having Echoing Truth to bounce their large creature. Opponent quickly shuffling down to 4. Okay. Planes into Trailblazer. You got it. Alright, let's double cantrip here. Try to find land number 2. Have to shuffle that. There we go. Preordain. Maybe we want the Rite of Flame, but not the Fling. It's just not large enough to keep the Fling around. So I think the plan is to play Curve, Echoing Truth, their creature. Okay, so it's a 2/6 right now. Ideas Unbound. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Ideas. Make blue blue. I did it again. I clicked too fast. Ah, I don't think I'm allowed to undo that. No, I can. Okay. That's good news. Maybe I should have done that in the last round. The last game. Okay, so I can take the Rite of Flame here. It makes a bunch of mana. And then... So I have the choice here of either Peer or cast Curve. Or I'm sorry, I can Echoing Truth or Peer here. And part of me just wants to Peer. But maybe that's too greedy. So I'd have to hit one of my 3 copies of Manamorphose that are left. It's probably just better to bounce it. Okay, and then I discard these. Okay. Let's get in with the fractal token. I mean, it's not impossible for them to come back here, but it's certainly difficult. Yep, and that makes another blocker. I mean, they're almost there already. So we're going to go to 13. And they got a blocker. Ponder. I don't think I'm allowed to keep that. Okay. Now it's vigilant. So now their creature, even on their mulligan to 4, they might win this. And by might, I mean probably are going to win this. Yeah. So if their last card's Mutagenic Growth, I'm dead. Was not. Okay. Yeah, they got it. Molda 4 and crushed me. Very nice opponent. But Virtue 2, 1 round left to go. Round 5, and we are on the play. Sure. Another hand where we won't draw a red source and I'll cry myself to sleep. Just what I wanted. Alright, Island Ponder. What did I call? Love it. Okay. I mean, if I had to draw a random card, Curve isn't too bad. We're facing a blue deck, which is going to make this kind of tough. But maybe we'll get lucky. Our opponent will foolishly tap out on turn 2. We'll rip the red source. We'll jam a Curve down their throat. And then, you know, just be delightful. Oh, they're on familiars. Okay. Well, just what happened in round 1 is happening again. Yep, you have a Seagate Oracle. Sure. Come on, deck. Yikes. Discard the Goblin. What is this? Muldrifter. Okay. Untapped red source. Let's ponder. This is just insulting. Insulting. I hate you, deck. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I mean, I do it to myself by keeping Island Ponder hands, expecting never hit when I wanted. Yep. Okay. Snap, sure. So then they can replay their Seagate Oracle. Sure. Now they probably have like double counter up. Oh, look at that. A mountain. How delightful. Should I just assume that all my mana is going to be countered? You got it. Pass. Yep. So there are people that try to convince me to play the familiar deck by selling to me as a combo deck, which I think is just like a huge lie. Because like this is just like blue-white value control. It's not actually a combo deck. Like yes, you can gain infinite life, or like in theory break your wrist trying to compulsive research your opponent to death. But this is not a combo deck. This is just like value control with like a light combo finish. When I was a kid, familiar based combo was like very popular because I started an invasion block and I've never really quit. So like even the Mind's Desire decks and extended were based around Sunscape familiar and then Nightscape familiar. So I have quite a bit of experience playing with them. Does this Rite of Flame resolve? No is the answer. Okay, so let's switch phases. See if we can idea or yeah, I get we'd have to hit the other mountain. It's just like not practical. It's frustrating. Okay. Now we're taking 4. Yeah, if I were to play this deck again, I would just cut the Goblin Electromancers. Add 2 lands and then 2 of something else. And now they get back their Prohibit. Yeah. Pier. Okay, Preordain. Killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Alright, so we're dead on the next turn. We know that our opponent has at least 1 counter spell. Okay. Yep. Miracle. Ideas Unbound. Does that eat a counter? Okay. Does Rite of Flame resolve? Hey, something good finally happened to us. We still need a miracle. It's pretty unlikely for us to win here. So we'd want like Relay into Fling off these Manamorphose draws. Okay, I'm gonna cast Ideas. They had another Prohibit. They didn't use it on right. That's interesting. But it doesn't matter. We're dead here. There's no card we can draw. I think that saves us. Yeah, it's definitely not Seething Song. Alright, next game. So let's bring in the counters again. Get rid of the... I wonder if maybe I leave the Spell Pierces back. But if like I ever drew our cards that we want on time, that wouldn't be an issue. So I don't know. Let's try this. Okay. I just don't like that hand. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this hand if I'm being honest, but At least it has mana. Draw. Yes, you miss your land drops. Probably shouldn't have 6 when I have a Pyroblast in hand, but they're not tapping out. Woot woot. Going to clean up. I'm just going to pass. And they're going to discard again. Alright. Let's cast ideas. Why not? Okay, so we're allowed to have some mana, apparently. Let's cast Peer. I'd like to find Relay off this. Did not. Hmm. I have a feeling they're just going to snap this curve and it's not going to matter. Oh, I forgot about the discard this 3 cards clause. Damn. Oh. Alright. Yeah, that was bad. Ideas Unbound has a drawback, fun fact. And our opponent's just passing. And another curve? What? Curve beatdown. Did they? I don't know what's in their hand. Nothing makes sense. They just didn't have any snaps. Okay. Um. Sure, let's run it back. Can we get the 3-2? All right. The final opening hand, I guess. I think I'm going to ship this. Perfect. Let's go. 2 on top. And I have lands now. We want to find a relay. Just lands and passing. Okay. Still just, I'm going to hang on to the Preordain. Yep. I don't know how I feel about the ideas draw. I guess we'll find out. Getting in for one with the Seagate. Okay. Alright, I think I'm going to try something this turn. Alright, that was actually really good. Let's go. Dispelling the blue elemental blast, and they had another. Okay, a little bit annoying. Oh shit, F6. Undo that. Why does it always do that to me? I think I'm supposed to preordain here. I guess I could peer. But if so the peer would want to find relay or a ritual into curve. Found relay. Okay. So then I'm gonna have to discard 3 cards. I'm just gonna discard the non-curve. I should probably look at this actually. 2 curves in there. I'm not gonna need curve. So let's keep the ideas Unbound. Yep. Ephemerate the Seagate. Okay. Wonder if I should start on preordain. Try to find some protection for these rituals, because I think they're probably going to go after my mana. There we go. All these Rite of Flames are just resolving. Okay. Song. We only have 2 copies of Fling. Really want to make sure that those stick. Let's ponder. So I'd have 1 curve after this, assuming that everything goes well. We're at 24. Alright, let's peer. Maybe I hit like Manamorphose. Found the Fling, but no Morphos. Really need to find Morphos. It doesn't do anything here, so shuffle. Alright, so there's only 1 Fling left to win in the deck with. We're just going to double relay pass. And I played an island for turn. So the problem with this is I believe I've already used 1 Dispel earlier this game. No? Just the one in my hand? I'm worried that I'm not going to have enough protection to make sure that the final Fling resolves. Guess we're about to find out. 2 Pyroblasts in there. Spell Pierce. Maybe we'll be fine. There's no Fling in my exile pile, so the other Fling is in the bottom 6 cards. We did see a creature in our opponent's graveyard last game that mills for 2, so that's actually pretty scary to me. We'd like to not see that. Oh no. Is this the end of times? What are you doing, opponent? Yeah. Oh, like looking back at the deck though, I'm pretty convinced that you don't want Electromancer, that those two should just be lands. And then in the other 2 slots, I don't have strong opinions if I'm being honest. You could run like main deck protection spells, they could be more cantrips, they could be additional rituals, Chrome Stars. Although I don't like Chrome Star in the deck because um, it's not an instant or sorcery, so it ends up making your curves worse. So I actually don't think it belongs in the deck. Alright, so they're getting our Chaomancer for what? Snap? Or Ephemerate? Blue Elemental Blast? What's the plan here? Blue Elemental Blast, okay. So I think we could even beat their hand if it was triple counter. So let's go Rite of Flame. Pretty sure we've got this. Okay, tap this, and we will Pyroblast. Does Rite of Flame resolve? It does, great. Dust Ritual. Seething Song. Alright, let's add some blue. We just have to find the Fling. Desperate Ritual, why not? Alright. So 3 cards left in deck after this draw. So let's just ponder. I like having the extra pyro here. Preordain so you know that I can't accidentally screw this up. This should work. Cast Fling, target you. 43. I have quadruple backup. Alright, and we got the 3-2. We got our money back. Not going to be upset about that. But like I mentioned, I would definitely cut these for probably 2 mountains. And with 8 lands in the deck, maybe you could look at Ash Barrens again. And if that's the case, maybe Brainstorm. There's definitely some tinkering you can do to improve this deck. Like, this is not a perfect deck list by any means. But this video hopefully showed you that there's some legs to playing Curve plus Fling in Relay, a blue-red centric Storm deck here in Pauper. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember, like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. I hope you have a great day. Keep storming. See you next time. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.